Hi, this is Rob. As usual this morning, I woke up, laid in bed around 6 o'clock, and found myself thinking some deeply philosophical thoughts that I wanted to share today. If you take anything in the universe, for example, if you take even a stone, this is my amethyst crystal, but you look at this and if we define it by the parameters of which science says that what is life, this is not life. It does not reproduce. It's not, according to us, how we perceive it, it's not even self-aware. But if we expand our parameters of what we define as life, could we possibly even include minerals and what we see as inert matter? I mean, who came up with the definition of what life is anyways? People did. We define what the word life means. We came up with that definition. And I believe possibly that definition has expanded throughout the centuries. But basically we still exclude 99.9% of the universe from life. We say we are alive, but what are we made of? We're made of minerals, we're made of, basically you break it down even farther, we're made of molecules, we're made of atoms. And I guess we are an aggregate, our physical bodies are an aggregate of inert matter. Basically everything that composes us physically is inert matter, yet we are alive. So we are a combination of inert matter that we consider to be dead or non-life, and we are alive. So basically we are saying that life comes from non-life, if that makes any sense. All things that we define as living are really aggregates of non-living substances. What if instead we decided we were going to expand our definition of what life is to include all substances that are not inert, have a motion, and not just have a chaotic motion, but maybe all substances that follow some kind of a law? Because you know, you cannot follow a law, any kind of law, unless you have some kind of degree, even if it's minutely there, you have to have some type of intelligence. And if you look at atoms, we have, as we were taught, atoms are made of protons and neutrons and electrons, and they follow laws, and they're never static. And if there was no type of intelligence there, maybe, albeit it's not the same type of intelligence that we define as intelligence, as human intelligence, but we also understand that there are different degrees of intelligence, even throughout the animal kingdom. Plants instinctively know how to go towards the sun. There is always, in some form of life, some degree of intelligence. If there was no intelligence in life, life would be pure chaos. There would be no atoms. There would be no laws. There would be no physics, because there would be no intelligence. I think we have a very limited perspective of what we define as intelligence and what we define as life. If we expand our parameters of what life and how we define it is, I think that it would be able to be, it would encompass the entire universe. As far as our definition of life is concerned at this moment in time, humans exclude almost the entirety of what the universe is from life. Yet, there is an intelligence in suns and stars. They follow some type of laws and physics, and there has to be some type of a minute intelligence in order for that to even take place. There has to be some type of intelligence for the atoms of our body and the DNA to know how to form itself, to know how to create new cells, and there has to be some type of intelligence at work. Another thought I was thinking was that so many times on this channel and in comments and stuff, I use the word God, and I have to be frank with you that if I was actually to define what I mean by God, it would not be what the majority of the world sees as God at all. And this fits in with life in just a moment. I'm going to tie it together. God to me is life. To me, God is not an entity that is behind pearly gates that sits on a throne surrounded by angels that sing forever. I personally am going to say this is a judgment, but I believe that such a perspective of God is very immature. That's just how I judge it. You may disagree, but I judge it that way. To me, life is God. In fact, when I write in some of my papers, or I write in some of the works that I do, philosophy, anytime I use the word life, I capitalize it. Just as a Christian or a Jew or a Muslim would capitalize the word God or Allah or Jehovah or whatever they call life, to me, life is God. And so many people out there in the world claim to be atheists, which I totally respect, except for, as I was pondering this morning about the definition of life, I wonder if atheists believe in life. Do they think that all of everything is just inert, lacking consciousness, lacking intelligence? We don't know what consciousness is. And I'll be frank with you, I don't believe we ever will be able to define consciousness itself, aside from consciousness being a state of being self-aware. What if there's some type of a grander picture that we don't quite see from our position within the puzzle? You know, we're one of the pieces and we don't see from our perspective the entire puzzle, the infinite puzzle that makes up the whole tapestry of what life is. And what if we define God as life? Do you believe in life? I mean, do you believe that you are self-aware? Well, what does that mean? I mean, if we were just all inert matter, and even aggregates of inert matter, and there was no life, there was no intelligence, there was no consciousness, you and I would not be communicating right now. If you sit down and you just close your eyes and you think about the fact that you exist and you are aware of this, could that also mean that maybe there's something going on beyond what you physically understand? In my opinion, those people who claim to be atheist are no better than religionists. I mean, they're not scientific. If you're an atheist, you have to come to terms with the fact that you are not scientific. Because in order to be a true scientist, in order to be scientific, you have to have an open mind. And if you're an atheist, you're saying right now, there's nothing, there's no higher power, there's no divine consciousness, there's no intelligence behind the universe at all. That's what you're saying. There's nothing beyond just inert matter. And that's extremely close-minded. That's just like religionists, who are close-minded to everything else. But if you look at this rock under an electron microscope, this rock is not inert. Every particle of this, if you look at it under an electron microscope, every particle is moving. There is never one instance where this rock is the same as it was a nanosecond before. Now it looks like that from our perspective, but you delve deep into the essence of the rock, and you will see a non-static intelligence at work. I think we need to expand our parameters of what we believe life is. I also think that most people who claim to be atheists are not really atheists. I believe that they would open their minds and say, you know what, I don't know what God is. I don't believe he lives on a throne in the clouds or whatever the hell people think. But there's something else going on beyond what I understand. And if that's how you feel about things, you're not an atheist. You're an agnostic. Agnostics mean that you do not know what God is. You do not know what life is or consciousness is, which to me, all three of those words are the same. You don't know what it is, but you're willing to know that there's something going on that you don't understand, a grander scheme. So if you consider yourself to be an atheist, which is fine, I don't care if you're an atheist or not. This is not a debate on whether there's a God or whether there's not. That's not what this is about. But I would like you to think about what you believe, because if you believe in life, in life, in self-awareness. Are you an atheist?